So we want to find out, we want to see how a bipolar junction transistor operates. So to do that, we will have to connect this transistor in a circuit and see what happens. Okay, so since this is a current control current source, if we connect this in a circuit, then, well, let me just draw a prototypical circuit. All right, so I can draw a current source as the input. Okay, input to the device. This is my BJT. Okay, and this is my output. All right, yeah. So this is my input terminal. This current will be the input current, the base current, and this current will be the output current. Okay, the output current will flow in this direction. This is IC. Okay, so let's see. So if I apply a current at the input, suppose I apply a 1 milliampere current at the input. All right, I apply a 1 milliampere current to the input, and I suppose the value of beta is something. Let's say that the value of beta is 2. So usually the value of beta is not so small. Okay, for real transistors, the value of beta can be anywhere in the range of, well, about 200 to 500. Okay, this can be anything like this. But for the sake of illustration, to make our calculations easier, so for this example, I am supposing that this transistor, this BJT that we are using, has a beta of 2. Okay, so if I apply an input current of 1 milliampere, what will be the output current in this circuit? Okay, so we can just simply replace this BJT with its current source model, with its current control current source model. If I draw it like this, okay, all right. So what did I do? I just replaced the circuit symbol of BJT with the current source version, or the current control current source version of the BJT. All right. Okay. So if I apply a 1 milliampere current at the input, what will happen? Well, you might say, sir, since the value of beta is 2, okay, and my input current is 1 milliampere, so my output current will be 2 milliampere. All right, 1 times 2 is 2 milliampere. But this will not happen. Why is the case? The case is so because you see, a BJT is made up from different types of semiconductor materials. Okay, like we have silicon and germanium and some materials. We put them together in a specific configuration, and it acts like a current control current source. Okay, but the this device, okay, this device that we are using, this cannot supply any power, any voltage or current of its own. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Suppose you have already been studying diodes, right? So suppose I connect a real diode in a circuit like this. Okay, I connect a real diode in a circuit like this. I have a voltage source, a resistance, and a real diode. Okay, so if I apply some voltage here, suppose 5 volt or something, and if I connect a voltmeter across these two terminals, what voltage will I see? What will be the voltage across the diode? If this is a real diode, then we can consider the constant voltage drop model of the diode, or the voltage source model of the diode. All right, and for real diodes, we will usually see a voltage of about 0.6 volt across the diode. Okay, So now if I take this diode, okay, if I take this diode and I connect a bulb, okay, suppose some sort of an LED, okay, an LED is a small light bulb that requires a very small voltage to operate, okay. Suppose this LED requires 0.5 volt to well operate, okay. So if I connect this diode to an LED like this, does that mean that the LED will turn on? Okay, will the LED turn on? Well, no. Why? Because a diode has a voltage drop of 0.6 volt across it only if current is flowing through the diode, alright, and that current, the current that is flowing through the diode is not produced by the diode itself, alright, it is produced by this voltage source, okay, it is produced by this voltage source. This voltage source is producing the current, okay. So in order for a diode to operate, you need an external voltage source that will supply the current that will flow through the diode, alright. A diode cannot produce the 0.6 volt on its own. I mean, if you have a supply of 5 volt, then the diode can consume 0.6 volt, okay. The diode can say to the supply, okay, I need 0.6 volt to operate, and you can use the rest of the voltage, the 4.4 volt voltage that you have anywhere else in the circuit. I only need 0.6 volt from the voltage source, but that voltage needs to be supplied by an external source, okay. The diode cannot produce a voltage on its own, all right, because as you know that the diode does not have an internal voltage or power supply inside it, all right. It is just a certain configuration of materials put together that behave in a certain way. So whenever this diode has a certain voltage drop across it or has a certain current flowing through it, that current or voltage must be supplied by an external power source or an external supply, right. The same case is for transistors, okay. Just the diode acted like a voltage source, and here a transistor is acting like a current source, okay. So if a transistor a transistor behaves as such that 2 milliampere current is flowing through it, the transistor cannot produce this current on its own, okay. So what I am trying to say is that this current that we have been mentioning here, okay, we have been drawing here, the BJT or the transistor cannot produce this current on its own. It needs an external power supply to produce this current, all right. So this circuit will work, this current will be equal to 2 milliampere only if there is an external supply in this circuit, okay. A voltage source, some voltage source I can say, okay, some voltage source that can supply this current. If there is no such voltage source, then well, you won't get any current here, right. The current will be 0. Here I will be 0. This will not be the case, okay. If you want some sort of current supply, but the same thing that will happen here, okay. This LED will not turn on if you connect a diode to an LED like this, okay. If you put a voltmeter here, you will see that the voltage across the diode is 0, okay. There will be no voltage across this diode. Similarly, if there is no supply, then well, the transistor cannot produce a cannot produce a current on its own. Since a transistor cannot produce a current on its own, then you will get no current. The current will be 0. So if I want my transistor to operate like a current controlled current source, all right, bear that in mind. If I want my transistor to operate like this, so that if I put a current in the input and an amplified current will be produced at the output, I need to connect a supply at the output, all right. I need to connect some sort of power supply, some sort of voltage source, okay, that can supply this current. Okay, simple enough. So what is the takeaway from this discussion? The takeaway is that whenever we are trying to build an amplifier or trying to operate a transistor, okay, trying to operate a device that works as a control source, some sort of an electronic device that works as a control source, okay, that device cannot produce any current or any voltage on its own. It needs an external supply to operate. So if we want that device to work as we intend, then we have to connect an external power supply to the output circuit. Okay, all right.